How do you tell a dismissive avoidant person that, hey, they may be a dismissive avoidant? Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? This is Certified Life and Relationship Coach, Coach Court. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about 3 ways to tell your dismissive avoidant that they may be a dismissive avoidant. Thank you for sticking around. If this is your first time viewing me, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel by clicking that subscribe button and ringing that bell so you're notified for all the newest coaching content. Before I get into the content, if you want my help personally, the quickest way to get into contact with me is through my website or my Patreon account. Both of those links are in the description below. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about 3 ways to tell a dismissive avoidant that they may be a dismissive avoidant. Now, this topic was sparked by a lot of you guys in the community. I appreciate you guys commenting down below the things that you want to see from this channel. I mean, the topics, the discussions, some of the fruitful seeds that I can plant into your life. I broke this down into three stages of the relationship, all right? The relationship stage, the breakup, and the reconciliation stage. Now, I thought it was important to talk about these different stages because when you are dealing, when you're discussing this, it's important to have a different type of scripts that are going to be brought to the table when it comes to these certain stages. Now, when we talk about the actual relationship phase, that's the phase where you can kind of feel like you're most free in the way that you want to address this topic. Let's say you were just learning about attachment style theory. You learned a lot about yourself. You may have been feeling like something was a little bit different with this relationship. So you might have found my channel, you might have found other channels, and you did a little bit of research. Now, when it comes to telling them about it, you don't want to do it in a way where they're going to feel criticized. You want to make sure that you introduce this in kind of like a little covert type of way. Now, I'm not trying to tell you guys to be manipulative or anything like that, but you do want to make sure that you're giving them this information or you're sharing this information with them where they don't feel like you're trying to change them or you're trying to criticize them. Now, I know when people are trying to, when you're in a relationship with someone, you want that person to be the best version of themselves, as I hope you want to be the best version of yourself too. So when you're sharing this stuff, it's coming from a genuine and a loving place, usually. So when you're trying to have this conversation with them, one of the ways that you can tell them is to say, hey, I've been learning so much about myself. I've been discovering this thing about attachment theory. And I think this will be interesting, something interesting that you can be diving into too. I checked my style. I would be curious to know what your style is. You can introduce it to them in that way. The times that you don't want to tell them about this is when you are already in conflict. Now, if you are in an argument and you just, lash this stuff out because you're upset, that's not going to help you. It's going to actually push them further away. And that's when they are going to start to feel like, all right, gloves are on. I'm going to be standoffish. You're attacking me. You don't want to do it when you're like in the middle of an argument and you text them, hey, you need to watch this video, or you need to understand that you're dismissive. I don't recommend doing it that way. Now, the next one would be, if you guys had a breakup and this was like right away, like let's say the breakup is still pretty fresh within the last couple weeks or so. You don't want to tell them at all, especially if you are someone that's anxious, preoccupied, and you're really triggered into your anxiousness. You do not want to introduce this stuff to them or this theory or this information to them because you're not going to get the response that you want. I know so many people tell me that they do. So many people saying, oh, I'm kicking myself. I feel so either ashamed or upset that I actually did it this way, but you don't know what you don't know. We can only show up the best way or the most informed way that we can. Don't beat yourself up if you were someone that lashed out. You sent them articles, you sent them videos, and you know for a fact that they are dismissive. Because that's another thing you don't want to mess up. You could be dealing with someone that's a secure person, but because they're not really that into you, they come off as dismissive. So you want to make sure that the person that you are dealing with or you were dealing with was in fact someone that had a lot of dismissive avoidant tendencies, and they weren't just someone that is not that into you. So if you've been with someone, let's say all right, I'm going to throw a number out there, 6 months or a year or something like that. You probably know a little bit about them, a little bit about their history, and you'll be surprised at how many people don't actually have these discussions and like have enough information about that person where they can't make like a proper, I wouldn't say diagnosis or anything like that, but they don't have enough context behind what would make this person a dismissive avoidant. So going back to post breakup, you want to make sure that they are in fact someone that's dismissive, and if they are, you don't want to give them this information right now. You want to wait. The last one is the reconciliation. You know, you've done the no contact. You've been able to reattract them. They have seen that, hey, I really miss this person. This person was someone that was important in my life. You wait that 2 months, that's 6 weeks to 2 months to 2.5 months. Sometimes it could take 3 to 4 months. I'm not going to lie to you. I know people in the comment section are going to say, I'm not waiting no 3 to 4 months, and that's okay. You can do what you want to do, all right? I'm just putting this information out there, and please don't bash them because that's the way that they subconsciously deal with things. This is the way that they handle trauma. Everyone handles trauma differently. If you are in a situation where you have reconciled with them and they are back in your good graces, or vice versa, if you guys are back in each other's good graces, the way that you have that conversation is to let them know, this is what I'm learning about myself. I did a lot of thinking. I did a lot of growth throughout our time that we broke up. And I know it's only been 2 months, but trust me, this information that I have and what I learned about myself really shed a light on the way that I've been showing up. So I think this would be really cool for you to explore this information too. And you can even kind of like read out some of the different characteristics of, the fearful, the anxious, or the dismissive, and see if that's something that resonates with them. I've seen more times than not where people would say, yep, that's me. That dismissive is me. And if they want to explore that more on their own, I would say, applaud them for it, but don't push it on them. Don't make it as like something that you're constantly beating down. They're, I don't know, just you're constantly being at them about. I know if you get a little excited when they are receptive and they are accepting of the feedback that you give them, but you can't force growth on anyone. So if you found this video of any value, please click this link right here where I talk a little bit more about 5 ways to tell an avoidant cares. If you want to follow me on my other social media account, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, is I am Coach Court. As always, I want to thank you guys for always being here and supporting me on this channel. And remember, when you go be love, you'll never have to find it. Namaste.